So I mean, a tool like this, it's all public information, and technically you really can't get in trouble for doing this. But I guess technically it's sort of stocky. So I mean, if you are running the tool, you should probably ask for permission.
Yeah, don't run it on your equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. So what I was going to do is I was just going to start with a blank canvas and just see how far we could take it. If anyone wants to give me just a seat information, just like a name, a phone number, a website. What's that?
Ed Nowak.
Ed Nowak. All right, we'll start with Ed Nowak. So I'm going to close out the Excel will file. We'll do. It's called Multigo. This is the community edition, which, depending on what you read, there's supposed to be restrictions. I haven't hit any yet. So
you probably can't print stuff out into reports.
No, I can save it. I can
save it. Can you add it to like a report without the watermark on it?
Not with a no. Everything's going to say demo only, which I mean for my purposes is fine. Yeah. You know what? You're probably right. I don't see any print options here.
Yeah, Multigo has comes with the community edition, so
all right.
So you get a little bit more out of it, but it's not as good as the paid version.
So I'm just going to make my Ed Nowak here.
It's built right in, figure everything.
Is it? Did I spell his last name? N-O-W-A-K. Okay.
I think it's 18.
AK.
And thought there was a way to search that. So first thing I'll do is just all transforms. You know, I'm gonna see if I can find an email address from him first, because with an email address you can find a lot about a person. So we'll start with that.
Yeah, I think I found like that doctor people, when you're fucking with people online, like say an IRC or whatever, you can pretty much trick them into thinking you're in their box, because you're popping up all their information, and you can pretty much trick them into disconnecting themselves, all afraid, which is fun on IRC when people come into the channel. It's just like trying to dig around.
All right, so we've got a bunch of email addresses that came up here. So I'm just going to take this one. And sometimes this information's a little messy, so you may be running down a lot of dead ends. And I happen to know this person, so I know this is a valid email address, so I'm just going to run with it for now. So based on this, let me see if I can...
When does it say FBI.gov?
Yeah. Not FBI, no, it's BNL, which I don't know. So we're going to say, the other thing you could do is you could just say, screw it, just do all the transforms that are available for this entity type, and it's just going to spit out a lot of information.
A lot of times it's almost better that you have like their screen names. It's a little more unique than a username. I found that in some sites, there's a site called Veromi, which is a credit database type site that if you know someone's name, like their first name, their rough date of birth, and where they're from, you can pull up their information. It shows like people related to them, roommates and stuff like that. And it's all free information. But it's, yeah, again, when doing like Ed Nowak by itself, like if you had like Ed's screen name or whatever, it'd probably be easier to pull up than just doing it from his name, because there's probably a bunch of Ed Nowaks around.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this too is that you can take information from Google and just drag it right in, and I'll do that after. Yeah, so I'm just having it spit everything out, and we're just going to see what it does. We'll see where it goes from here. And again, this would be a lot easier if I can if I could do this with a if I had a larger screen, a little more resolution. Oh, this is sad. I'm striking out here. Just the name. Yeah, I think you're right. So I guess what we'll do is fire up our trusty friend Google and see if we can get some seed information.
It used to be a great site that was up.
Yeah, see, there's a bunch of NOACs.
Where you can actually, it actually pulled up shit that wasn't even in, like, if you looked up, like, say, Connecticut court systems, it was pulling up shit that wasn't even in there anymore. They went to, like, a paid site and screwed everything up.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. The trouble with a name like Ed Nowak is that it's such a common name, and your target has such a low profile on the internet that's.
The thing is too, he's young, so there's not too much as far as like owning a business or having a rent somewhere or stuff like that.
Yeah, let me. Now is that email address that it did find though? I'm pretty sure that's his email address.
I know there's an Ed Nowak 2 at Gmail.
Okay. Well, why don't we start with that? It's true.
Sexual white chocolate.
Sexual white chocolate.
What do you think of all the usernames you came to hire through with?
Is that right? Ed Nowak 2, EDNOWAK 2. I think it's Edward Nowak 2. Leave. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he has the 2 in there because somebody took the Ed Nowak at Gmail, so he just put the number 2 there.
Sure. It's an awesome picture. You know, let me see if I can just use this. And of course, copy and paste is not going to cooperate. Mid-muffin. What do we say? Ed underscore MCUFFIN. Oh, that's true.
It's a real name.
It is a real name. No, that's real. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah. You know, Ed's a bad example. I'm gonna use somebody else. Yeah, this is just not gonna cooperate with me right now. So this is, I think, all I've got at the moment. But I'll do a better write-up on this and get that online for on NESIT.org. So we've got better slides. But yeah, that's basically Maltego in a nutshell. That's basically. Anyone have any questions? All right. No. So when you're running a transform, it connects back to Maltego servers and actually does the lookup from their servers. But once the lookup's done, the actual information is saved inside these. Maltego calls them graph files. And on the latest version, the latest paid version, you can actually save it as a protected file. So it's AES encrypted, so you can send it to someone and have a little bit of. Actually, looks like you can actually do that on the community version too. So yeah, that's sort of a nice little feature. So even though you've got semi-private information there.
Yeah, because we're swapping back and forth. You send the draft file for them to look at and add on to.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't have to explain how you got to that trail pretty much. I mean, for me to explain how I found somebody and got somebody, it's just like, well, I found this link here, and then I went here, and I went here. This actually just shows you, how it was all done and where it came from.
Yeah, that's basically it. And it's easier to spot relationships. So, like when I was looking at Will's stuff, and I saw I had one IP address and I had multiple websites coming from that same IP address, but they were all sort of related, and there were like maybe 1 or 2 commercial sites. I'm like, okay, well, the person who runs this FTP server for Will, he probably also runs these commercial websites, so maybe I'll look into those, and he may have some actual real contact information on there. So, I mean, it's helpful for analyzing some information, but again, you really need the screen real estate to be able to really do it well.
You can't just go with generic name, you have to.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, reverse DNS stuff, I mean, you'd have to go to special sites for that stuff, and, having the network tool is a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That stuff.
That's really helpful. Like, if you want to know all the other, so if you've got a website and you want to know all the other websites that are run off of that same server, that's actually sort of a difficult lookup to do online. And it's built right into the tool for this, which is kind of nice.